That's what Denzel told me. Leave 30 minutes for the devil get there.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong.
Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked.
Diddy didn't let you bring your security in.
All lies will be exposed, that's all.
Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Well, as he was walking over, he was saying something like, you know, you better not ever.
Did you hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to hang out with you next week, and I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to you.
Imagine a silent courtroom, all eyes on Sean Diddy Combs, when suddenly a familiar voice booms from the speakers. Prince's voice. Yes, the Prince, speaking as if from beyond the grave. In that electrifying moment, time stood still. Judges, jurors, spectators, everyone froze, hanging on to every word. And Diddy? He goes from confident mogul to a man on the verge of collapse. You can practically hear a pin drop. How on earth did a voice from 2016 end up center stage in 2025's biggest trial? This is the jaw-dropping drama that unfolded when Prince's final recording was played in court, and trust me, it shook the entire music industry and trial to its core. Buckle up, because this story is wild. Let's back up a bit. For those just tuning in, Sean Diddy Combs is currently in the fight of his life. A high-profile federal trial loaded with explosive allegations. We're talking sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and more. If he's found guilty, he's potentially facing 15 years to life in prison. Yeah, that's serious. The trial kicked off on May 5th, 2025, and from day one, it was clear this wasn't just another celebrity courtroom circus. Prosecutors brought out big witnesses, gut-wrenching testimonies, and a promise that bombshell evidence was on the horizon. But even then, nobody anticipated a bombshell quite like this. One of the star witnesses so far has been Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend and a key accuser. Her testimony was already making headlines. She painted a picture of life with Diddy that was anything but the glam we see on stage. And get this, Prince's name had already popped up in her story. Cassie recounted a night she slipped out to attend a party at Prince's Los Angeles mansion, a once-in-a-lifetime experience, as she called it. She was having a great time at Prince's private show until Diddy unexpectedly showed up. According to her testimony, the moment Cassie got wind that Diddy was present, she bolted. I caught a glimpse of him, left the party, and ran out as fast as I could. I knew he was angry at me, Cassie testified. She wasn't imagining it either. She says Diddy chased her down, and in the chaos she fell into some bushes outside Prince's home. Later that night, back at her hotel, Diddy's rage exploded. He allegedly beat her up in a jealous fury. Horrifying, right? That story had the courtroom already reeling, showing just how far Diddy would go to control those around him. So by the end of week one, the trial had already seen tears, anger, and shocking revelations. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could compare to what came next. Fast forward to the next court session. The prosecution stands up with a mysterious confidence. There's a hush. Your Honor, the prosecution wishes to present a new piece of evidence, they announce. Everyone's wondering, what now? We've heard testimony, seen documents. What could possibly top first-hand witness accounts? The answer, a voice recording. But this isn't an ordinary voicemail or wiretap. The prosecutor explains that this recording was obtained through a source in Prince's estate, hinting that Prince himself left something behind. The judge allows it, and the bailiff presses play. Cue the courtroom going absolutely still. At first, a crackle. Then that unmistakable voice. Prince. The Prince. Some people literally gasped audibly. One court reporter's jaw dropped. The jurors snapped to attention, eyes wide. Diddy's own attorneys looked like they'd seen a ghost, and in a way, they had. In the recording, Prince addresses the court, or whoever's listening, in a serious, somber tone. It's as if he knew this moment might come. He mentions Sean Combs by name. You can almost feel Diddy cringe as his name comes out of Prince's mouth from the grave. Prince speaks of knowing the truth and setting things right. He talks about the dark side of the music industry, alluding to powerful figures who hurt the ones they claim to care for. The entire courtroom is transfixed. This isn't a song. It's more like a message or a testimony sealed in time. Prince, known for being cryptic yet insightful, is surprisingly direct here. He's dropping personal warnings and explosive insights that tie directly to the heart of this case. It's like he knew exactly what Cassie and others would eventually reveal. So, what exactly did Prince say in this bombshell recording? Let's break down the key points because they are chilling. A direct warning. Prince warns of a powerful music mogul, and yes, he names Diddy, using his influence and fame to manipulate and harm young artists and women in his circle. In that smooth yet grave voice, Prince alludes to parties where the music hides the cries for help, a thinly veiled reference to the kind of wild celebrity parties that have come up in this trial. Cryptic but clear, always the enigmatic genius, Prince phrases things poetically, but the message is clear as day. He says he can't stay silent when the truth is at stake, and talks about having seen innocence lost behind mansion doors. You can bet everyone immediately thought of Cassie's story and other allegations in this case. Prince basically validates those stories with his own witness account from beyond. Names and details. In a stunning move, Prince's recording actually mentions specific incidents. He refers to an evening at his LA home, ringing any bells, where he noticed a young woman in distress, who we can assume is Cassie, though he didn't drop her name outright. He describes seeing fear in her eyes and a predator lurking in plain sight. The detail in his voice adds immense credibility to what Cassie described on the stand. Prince's plea. Finally, Prince ends the recording by urging whoever hears it to protect the innocent and hold the guilty accountable. It's almost like Prince appointed himself a posthumous witness in this trial. He says, "If you're hearing my voice, then the truth should finally matter." Talk about a mic drop from the afterlife. Each bullet point landed like a punch. By the time the recording stopped, some people had tears in their eyes. Others looked pale as a sheet. It was that powerful. Now let's talk about Diddy during all this, because oh boy did he lose it. Picture this. Diddy, who's been pretty stone-faced throughout prior testimonies, suddenly looks like the ground just opened beneath him. As Prince's testimony from the grave unfolds, Diddy's composure cracks second by second. At first, he's shaking his head, whispering furiously to his lawyers like, "What is happening?" Then, when Prince explicitly calls him out, Diddy's face just falls. He goes from defiant to desperate. Eyewitnesses in the court described Diddy as visibly sweating and fidgeting. His hands were clenching the arms of his chair. At one point, he blurted out, "This is bull," before his attorney squeezed his shoulder to shut him up. The judge sternly warned Diddy to remain silent. But could he? Nope. Prince's voice kept talking, and Diddy just snapped. He stood up suddenly as if to protest or maybe to walk out. Who knows? Security immediately stepped in, and his own lawyers grabbed his arm, pleading with him under their breath to get it together. For a moment, it looked like Diddy might lunge toward the prosecution table or try to yank the plug on the audio system. He was that agitated. The judge had to bang the gavel and call for order twice. Imagine the scene. A billionaire music mogul in an impeccable suit, now red-faced and rattled, flailing as court officers moved toward him. Absolute chaos. Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, was in the gallery. She's been there often, quietly supporting her son. Reports say she covered her mouth in shock when the recording played, and at this point she was in tears. This was her son being essentially accused by a man who isn't even alive anymore. The surrealness of it all was off the charts. Eventually, Diddy's team managed to calm him enough to sit back down, but he was holding his head in his hands, eyes shut tight. Some say he was crying, others think he was just furious and panicking. Maybe it was both. One thing's clear, Sean Combs was a man undone. We have never seen him like this in public. This is the same Diddy known for swagger and control, now absolutely shaken. As the dust settled, figuratively, because in reality, people were still whispering, "Oh my God," under their breath, the judge ordered a brief recess. Frankly, everyone needed a minute to process what they'd just witnessed. In the halls outside, you can imagine the frenzy. Attorneys were on their phones, probably calling their firms like, "Holy crap, they actually played it." Jurors milled about, looking equal parts stunned and intrigued. This trial just went from high profile to historic. Think about it. Never in modern memory has a deceased superstar effectively testified in a court case via a recording. This was unprecedented. Some legal pundits in the media immediately started debating, is this even admissible? Where did this recording come from? Is it legit? But those technical questions aside, the impact on the jury was already made. They sat through a week of disturbing testimony, but hearing Prince himself seemingly back up those stories, that's a game changer. As one commentator put it, it was like the conscience of the music industry stepped into the courtroom to speak truth. Courtroom veterans said they'd never felt an atmosphere like that before. It was a mix of eerie and electrifying. One moment you're in a standard trial, and the next, it's like a movie plot playing out in real life. Even the judge looked rattled, and judges have pretty good poker faces. During the recess, a few jurors were seen dabbing their eyes. Prince's message had a raw humanity to it that struck a chord. He spoke about protecting the innocent. That's something anyone can feel deep down. And seeing Diddy's extreme reaction only reinforced the weight of it all. It's as if Diddy's outburst inadvertently told the jury, yeah, that hit a nerve, didn't it? Meanwhile, news was blowing up outside. Word got out almost instantly, likely from reporters in the room live tweeting. By the time court resumed, the headlines were already splashed everywhere. Prince's voice haunts Diddy's trial. From beyond the grave, Prince names Diddy. Diddy melts down in court as Prince speaks. Social media went bananas. Hashtags like @Diddy trial and #Prince speaks were trending within minutes. Memes were flooding in, because of course the internet will meme anything. Some showing a ghostly Prince image whispering in Diddy's ear, others with captions like, Prince dropping receipts from heaven. The consensus online? If this recording is as real as it sounds, Diddy is done. In fact, one viral post summed up the mood. Just give P. Diddy life at this point, implying that Prince's testimony was the final nail in the coffin. When court reconvened, the judge addressed the jury about the sensational nature of what they heard, probably to caution them to stay focused on evidence. But how do you unhear something like that? The defense team was visibly scrambling. You can bet they didn't see this coming. I mean, how do you cross-examine Prince? You can't. The best Diddy's lawyers could do was object to the tape's admission, question its authenticity, or claim it's prejudicial. They did try. We're told the defense loudly objected, arguing there was no way to verify the recording. They even hinted it could be a deepfake or an impersonator. Given how crazy this is, who could blame them for trying that angle? The judge has deferred a final decision on how the jury should treat this evidence, but the jury has already heard it. The genie is out of the bottle. From a broader perspective, this moment is huge. Think about the optics. One of the most beloved musical legends seemingly reaching out from the afterlife to call out wrongdoing. It's poetic and tragic and impactful all at once. Prince's legacy was all about artistic integrity and personal freedom. He famously fought the music industry's control. Remember when he changed his name to a symbol and wrote slave on his cheek in protest? Now here he is, in a sense, standing up for alleged victims of abuse and power imbalance. It adds an almost moral weight to the prosecution's case. The jurors aren't just hearing from accusers who could be painted as having motives. They heard from an icon who has nothing to gain, nothing to lose, and no reason to lie because he's not even alive. That's powerful. This incident also opens up a Pandora's box of questions. How did this recording surface? The prosecution was tight-lipped about it in court. No pun intended. Speculation runs wild. Some say Prince may have recorded it privately and entrusted it to a confidant for safekeeping. Maybe Prince got wind of some of Diddy's alleged behavior, possibly through Cassie or industry whispers, and, being the visionary he was, decided to document it in case it was needed one day. It sounds like the stuff of conspiracy theories, but here we are hearing it. Others wonder if someone in Prince's estate or circle just found this audio recently, amid the trial, and handed it over to authorities. We do know from the video description leak that the recording was described as having resurfaced unexpectedly. The mystery of its origin only adds to the drama. And let's not ignore the legal can of worms, using a deceased person's statement in court skates on thin ice with hearsay rules. But perhaps there are exceptions. like if it's considered a dying declaration or a statement against interest, legal nerd stuff. The judge hasn't thrown it out yet, so for now, it's part of the case. The court of public opinion, though? They've already made up their mind from what it seems. This event is dominating news beyond just the celebrity gossip sphere. Everyone is talking about it, from legal analysts on CNN to music fans on TikTok. Even fellow celebrities have chimed in on social media, essentially saying how unbelievable and surreal this is. Some of Prince's old collaborators and friends are expressing shock, half astonished that Prince might have secretly done this, but also noting, "That's so Prince," to drop a bombshell artistically and posthumously. On the flip side, Diddy's allies are decrying this as a dirty trick or a fake stunt to assassinate his character. One thing's for sure, the rift between believers and skeptics just got deeper. After such a dramatic day, the trial isn't over, not by a long shot. In fact, this might just be the beginning of a whole new chapter. The judge adjourned for the day after Prince's recording was played, likely to give everyone time to cool down and perhaps to consider the defense's objections. Diddy was hurried out of the courtroom by his security and lawyers, shielded from reporters. No statements were given. But you can imagine what's brewing. What will Diddy do in his next court appearance? Will he return composed, or will the mere mention of Prince set him off again? The world will be watching that courtroom like hawks. And here's a thought to send shivers down spines in the music world. Could there be more recordings? Prince was a prolific creator and a meticulous archivist of his work and thoughts. If he left one recording, who's to say he didn't leave others? Perhaps messages about other industry figures or more details that didn't fit in one audio file. It's speculative, sure, but the very idea has people buzzing. If one voice from beyond can surface, maybe others can too. Could there be a hidden trove of truth-telling tapes locked away in vaults, waiting for the right moment? Rhetorical question, but imagine if suddenly more late icons start speaking about long-buried industry secrets. The impact on the entertainment industry would be seismic. A lot of powerful people might be losing sleep tonight at that prospect. For now, the immediate future of this trial hangs in the balance. The prosecution just played their ace card, an ace literally from beyond the grave, and the defense is in damage control mode. The jurors have witnessed drama unlike anything else, and they'll return with fresh eyes and ears to everything else in this case. Diddy's credibility has taken a hit that's nearly impossible to quantify. I mean, if even Prince is seemingly against him, how do you come back from that? As a viewer of this saga, you can't help but be on the edge of your seat. The way this first week has ended, it feels more like the climax of a movie than real life. Will justice be served? Will there be more bombshells? One thing's certain, when court resumes, all eyes and ears will be glued to whatever happens next. We'll be there to witness it, break it down, and bring you every twist and turn. So stay tuned, folks. This trial has already made history, and it's not over yet. The truth has a way of coming out, and in this case, it came from a place no one expected. Prince's final message echoed through that courtroom and beyond, and its impact will be felt for a long, long time. What other secrets lie in wait? Next time we might find out. Until then, keep your ears open. You never know who might speak up, even from beyond the grave.